Hello, this is Ducky, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 4, Service. Now, oh my god, it's such a good episode. Just got finished watching it, but such a good episode. I don't know how any Walking Dead fan wouldn't like this episode. Like, this episode was absolutely... It was filled with great acting. It was frightening. It was funny. It was sad at the same time. Like, it was all of that. And hatred, all of that stuff. All in one episode. And it was absolutely perfect. And I just loved it. And I gave it a 9.5, which is 0.1 less than the premiere, which is insane. Now, in my reaction, I did say I wish I could go back and up the reaction, rating, but that's my rule. I can't do that after I've already made the rating. Like, I would go up and up the Cell rating, which was a 7.8, up that to maybe an 8.3 or something, but I can't. That's there for final. I can't change it, but this episode I gave it a 9.5, and it was amazing. So, episode was called Service, and literally I have a full page of notes, and when I say full, I mean full. Like, that is full. So it was an awesome episode, I gotta say. So we started off with Rosita and Eugene kind of talking, and Michonne going to kill a zombie that she can't shoot, and yeah, Negan ends up coming up to the gate and going, dong dong dong, little pig, let me in. So that was so awesome because that was from the comic book. There were so many comic book lines in this episode where some of them didn't even take place in this part of the comic book at this time, but it happened a little bit later with, like, Carl and Negan. Like, some of that dialogue happened in the comic when Carl went to the sanctuary, which they're not doing in the show, apparently. So, Rick holding Lucille. So, Rick basically holds Lucille for Negan the whole episode, and it's absolutely awesome. I love that. And we met a new character named Arat. So it's a new girl, and she's a savior, and she works for Negan, and she's pretty cool. I'm gonna do a discussion video on her this week, I think, because it's a very interesting topic to talk about, of who she's taking the role of in the comics and why her name's Arat, because there's a very good explanation behind it, and I can't wait to do that. So watch out for that video because it's gonna be very interesting. Dwight and Rosita. So this made me hate Dwight just that little bit more than I already have. And he starts taking Rosita and Spencer's guns and pouring out Rosita's water and takes her hat and all that stuff, which was, I mean, that was a butthole move, really. And I wrote, I want Dwight to die. I literally wrote, I want Dwight to die. So I do want Dwight to die. And I think that's what they're trying to make us want. The videos. So Negan ends up finding the original videos that Deanna took of Rick and his group, and Negan sees Rick with his big bushy beard from season 5, and he's like, he mentions again that he wants to shave his beard, and which I can't wait for. Then we can see the full comic Negan, but really I don't really mind right now, just because of how good his acting is and everything. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's perfect. And that was pretty funny. And then Father Gabriel, like, sneaks up on Negan, and Negan, like, makes fun of Father Gabriel, and it was just so funny. Like, that made me crack up. Like, that was so funny. They end up catching Carl talking back to a savior in the medical room. Like, the savior was taking too much medicine, because remember, they take half, but they don't just take half of, like, every certain, like, supply. Like, they might take or they might just take all their guns, because it's just half of their supplies. Like, it's not half of, like, a little bit, half of guns, half of food, half of medicine. No, it's like they could take all medicine, all guns, but still let them keep all their food, and it'd still be half of their full supply amount. So yeah, they start taking, like, all their guns and, like, their medicine, and Carl ends up screwing up once again and points a gun at the savior, and Negan catches him, and Negan does his little comic line with Carl saying, oh, you got the big man balls or whatever, with Carl, and that was really funny to see that. And like Rick is just so traumatized still from Glenn and Abraham's death. It's just so sad. Spencer literally Spencer okay, so I've made a video on this about who I think will die in season 7, and I said it was going to be Spencer, and in the comic book it was Spencer, and the way it happened is Spencer says, I don't think Rick should be in charge anymore, and he says that to Negan, and he's like, Negan, you need to take him out now, and then Negan says, why don't you just do it yourself? You don't have any guts. And he's like, I wonder if you do. And then Negan rips open Spencer's stomach in the middle of Alexandria's streets and finds out that he does have guts. And it's awesome. So I wasn't sure if they were going to do it with Spencer because we haven't really seen that personality yet. But basically, they just confirmed Spencer's death. So keep a lookout for that when it comes, because we'll all know when it's coming if you just listen for it. So if you ever see Spencer and Negan get up close to each other, just think, Spencer's going to die at that moment. And it's going to be so gruesome. It's going to be awesome. Because he starts talking about Rick shouldn't be in charge. Like, maybe if he did something, made the deal earlier with Negan, maybe Glenn and Abraham wouldn't be dead. Like, starts really back-talking Rick. And that literally just confirms his death. And also, I don't know if this was supposed to be there, but when Rosita's holding the knife there and, like, Spencer's talking about Rick, at one moment, the knife kind of like overlaps his stomach when he's walking. I don't know if that's like, and it was like so close to the screen, the knife looked really big, and Negan always made comments about his big knife, and I don't know, it was just a little weird that it kind of went across his stomach when it kind of just looked like that. So when Spencer was talking about that, so I thought that was pretty cool. If you didn't see that, go back and watch it, and you can see Rosita's knife kind of look like that. I don't know if that was like foreshadowing or whatever, but I noticed that. I don't know. Negan ends up scaring Olivia because he can't find 2 guns that he had on the list, and says, if you can't be a good like holder of the armory, then you shouldn't work here. And he's like scaring the crap out of her, saying like maybe she should just die, but he doesn't like killing women. And then Rick, he tells Rick to go find the guns. Rick ends up going find guns in Spencer's house. Spencer's been hiding whiskey and food and the guns, and Rick ends up bringing it back to Negan. Now Rick and Spencer are on very good terms right now. Rick ends up going to the church and talking to everybody about Negan's in charge now. I'm not. So that was pretty cool to watch, to finally see. Because that did happen in the comments. Negan dropped that one line, I slid my D down your throat and you thanked me for it. Now that's right out of the comic page, and that was awesome. I didn't think we were going to get that, but we did, and it was so cool to get that line. We see Darrell really be broken this episode, like when Negan says maybe Darrell could plead to stay here, because Rick says, since we're following your rules, just can you let maybe Darrell stay? And then Negan's like, Darrell, you can plead to stay here. And Darrell just doesn't move. He just doesn't budge because he knows like maybe he could do something wrong if he makes the wrong move. Maybe he could die and everything. Also, Negan mentions like if Maggie was at Alexandria, he was planning on taking her to the sanctuary with him and like becoming one of his wives. I mean, wow, that's crazy. And Dwight gets Daryls Motorcycle because Rosita and Spencer go for it. Negan leaves with all his stuff, and like Rick finds that they took the mattresses and stuff. And then this part, I gotta give props to Andrew Lincoln, the guy that plays Rick. His acting in this moment, okay, perfect. Just absolutely perfect, because he ends up bringing up Shane again, which is just so awesome to call back Shane and Laurie. I thought this was just such an epic moment. This is like my favorite part of the episode, I think. And he ends up bringing up Shane, and he says, I know Judith isn't my child. I know she is Shane's, but he doesn't want to like just think about that. And then he says, she is my daughter, and I'll raise her as my daughter. And I'm going to die before her, but I want to raise her in the right way before I die. And it was just so emotional, and I love that. And then Michonne goes out again and finds burnt mattresses on the side of the road, which means the Saviors took their mattresses just to burn them, which means they're really just cheating them out, which really sucks. I didn't actually notice that they were mattresses at first. I watched a little bit of The Talking Dead, so yeah, I seen that. And then the episode ends off with Rosita walking up to Eugene's door and says, "Make me bullets." So yeah, Eugene's gonna have a huge part coming in the comic. That's why I was like, or in the show right now, because in the comic book he had so much story to come, and I hated when people said he was gonna die by Negan, because I was like, he can't die by Negan. He has so much story to come from the comic, and look where we are. He's not dead. So yeah, he has a lot more story to come from the comic. So don't think he's gonna die anytime soon, because he's not. He's actually still alive in the comic book series as of right now. And some of the characters that you probably thought would be alive aren't really alive right now. So just think about that. Eugene is still alive right now, and he is making bullets for the team. So he's going to become a very important person to the story here soon. But yeah, that was the end of this episode, and that was awesome. I love this episode. My favorite part of this episode was definitely the Shane talk with Rick talking about Shane and Laurie and Judith and everything. That was really, really emotional. So awesome episode. I think I know what I'm gonna do for this skit, but I honestly don't know. Not sure yet. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Put your rating down in the comments. Suggest some videos that you want me to do. And yeah. I guess I'll see you all later. I got this eye patch. It's awesome. You might be seeing it. Spoiler. Wait. Let me see here. Oh my god. Wait. There we go. And I will see you all next time. Good.